I am so excited to welcome Sybil Wilkes to Cafe Mocha to Go. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. There is just so much on the line for this election. It's about healing that soil when there's not an election. It's about making sure that you're, cultivating relationships on the ground in these cities, in these highly contested areas, as well as nationally, outside of season. And I know that that's what you do with your organization. So can you just touch bases with us and let us know everything that you have going on and that your organization is doing to really get people mobilized into the polls this November?
Oh, there's so much. There is so much to talk about. We are in the most important point of our lives, politically speaking, as the differences that can be made in this upcoming election obviously are very important. We need to keep this going day in and day out, not just in campaign season. So what we do on the What You Need to Know newsletter, which is a newsletter that we put together every day, Monday through Friday, every weekday morning. You give us your email address and we'll have those emails, those newsletters in your email box first thing each morning. And if you go to sybilwilkes.com, you can subscribe and it is free. And so what we have learned and what we do in this newsletter is what I learned for all those years working with Tom Joyner, and that's to super serve the African American community about these things that are going on in our community. And so politically speaking, from a crime perspective, from Black Lives Matter and all of these things, from finance and health and well-being, those are all the things that we talk about, including HBCUs as HBCU Corner and Little Known Black History Facts. So all of this is working in conjunction with informing our community about the decisions that they're going to make, even if, as we're talking today, about the Breonna Taylor decision coming down from the grand jury. And what does that mean? How does this affect people outside of Louisville? It affects all of us because it really points to the fact that as important as it is to vote in the presidential elections, all of these other elections have such a greater impact on our lives from a day-to-day perspective. As we talk about the mayors that we elect, the city council people that we elect, the district attorneys, all of the prosecutorial staffs that come as a result of our electing these district attorneys, this is really important, and this affects our day-to-day lives. Just as the people in Louisville are now trying to figure out where do we go from here with the decision that's come down from the grand jury, people in other cities are going through that, and we have a responsibility to inform people that you have the power to make the changes that you want to see that are so necessary in our world today.
Absolutely. And we're seeing with this RBG, with the passing of RBG, that they are trying to push this through and the most likely going to get this, this nominee through. And so what can you talk to us about as it relates to what we do from here, knowing that, again, those judgeships that I just feel like on the ballots, people sometimes take for granted. I know plenty of people that have gone in the booth, voted, and because they didn't know about the judges, or it doesn't say them or REP behind the judge name as they're supposed to be nonpartisan, they just leave it blank. They don't vote. So talk to me about the judiciary and that entire system and why it's so important to make sure that we're examining who these judges are that are that are really affecting our lives on a day-to-day.
Absolutely. And talking about the judges and the people that come before them that look like you and me, or our brothers, or our nieces and nephews, and in some cases, our parents. And not to be flippant or anything, but we are the people that come before them, and we have to know who they are, what their records are. And so it's incumbent upon the media to really inform you of where these people stand, what their records are, and in terms of the judgments that they have rendered thus far. And we got to do our homework. We have to. And as important as it is, and as we are still pushing for people to get registered to vote, as you are registering people to vote, let's also get those records and find out how these people who are running for office, how they stand on these things, because these people will increase their position and power as they are nominated by presidents and also by our senators. And so it's that whole relationship, and and as I said, as important as it is to vote for the top, it's as important to go down the ballot. But when we're talking about these federal positions, these federal judgeships, that's where your decision as to who you put in the White House as well as in the U.S. Senate makes a big difference too. For all of his years, Mitch McConnell has had a stranglehold on decisions regarding the judgeships in this country, the federal judgeships. He has submitted the list and to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has now put into position over 200 people who are in positions in many cases that they will have for the rest of their lives, and that they will make decisions that will not only affect us, but for generations to come. Consider this. Mitch McConnell's influence is so strong in terms of the Senate and the judgeships, but also that young man, Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General in Kentucky, he is his mentor. Mitch McConnell is the mentor of this kid. And so, and all of the things that have come out as a result of the Breonna Taylor grand jury, that's affecting us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's touch bases on the Divine Nine and your initiative as it relates to HBCUs as well. It's so important, and it definitely needs, a platform. So please, you have the floor.
This is so wonderful. The members of the presidents of the Divine Nine, those are the historically Black fraternities and sororities, have been kind enough and very proactive enough to come on my YouTube show and to talk about the necessity of voter engagement, especially as we are now less than 42 days before the election, less than 6 weeks. And so what they did when they came on the show was to have a 9-point plan, an engagement plan, a plan to go forth to get people to register to vote, to find out the information about the candidates that they're voting for, as well as what it means for the mail-in ballots, what it means for absentee voting, what it means for voting in the time of coronavirus, and getting young people involved in the process, not only in registering, but getting young people to go into those polling places to volunteer, to work, and to see what's going on, as well as to get the legal position, all of those legal attorneys who are a part of the fraternities and sororities, to be there, to be the legal eagle eyes on the days that people are in the voting and polling places.
If you could give one form of advice to people who, at this point, I don't know, but for whatever reason, are on the fence. I don't know if I'm going to vote. Joe Biden wasn't the first person that I picked. Kamala, I'm not sure about her. For whatever reason, if you could get people to understand the importance of this election and get past that hurdle, what would you say?
I go back to the great John Lewis and those people that we lost this year, including Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as well as C.T. Vivian and Reverend Joseph Lowry. And we have got to know our history in order, and even recent history, but we have got to look at the work that they did and know that, and allow them to know wherever they are, that their work was not in vain. If we ignore our history, we are condoned to repeat history, and the most recent history has been nothing but just a cesspool of inequality and violence and disrespect and death.
Right.
That's the most galling thing to me, is that we have now over 200,000 people who have died as a result of a man who lied to us.
Right.
So think of all of these things. Think about our history and think about our future, and not only the future of us, but the future of our children and our children's children. And what kind of world do we want to leave them with? We have to stand up and we have to be counted.
Absolutely. So Sybil, I thank you so much. Where can people stay in touch with you if they want to, again, get engaged with the Divine Nine, and also, really hear about your platform and sign up for your daily newsletter?
Please go to SybilWilkes.com. I thank you for that. We have the newsletter. If you give us your name and your email address, I promise it doesn't cost you a thing. It makes a wonderful gift, as I've said, to all of those that you want to keep informed. Also, Sybil Wilkes on all the social media platforms. I have a YouTube channel at Sybil Wilkes as well, and Facebook live show that is every Monday through Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Central, 7 on the East Coast, and a podcast with Stephen Hill. We do that from ahas to ahas as well. So we're trying to do
You're
as much as
busy.
we possibly can
You're
to keep
very
things
busy.
going. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for saving some space and carving out some time to talk with us today. We'll definitely make sure and stay connected with you and maybe even have you back on before Election Day. Again, I can't say it enough, but I'll say it with you, who I know will agree. This is the most consequential election of our lifetime and for future generations who aren't even here yet. So
That's right.
thank you again for saving some space, for allowing us to talk about the importance of it, and also to educate those who may be again on the fence, and to really get them mobilized and to the polls this November.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, and love, love, love all the work that you all are doing on Cafe Mocha.
Thank you. Talk to you soon, Sybil.
Take care. Bye-bye.